We did a great one. Paul Swanson had it just had a great one before. Um, we're just going on informal conversations, talking with some of the best people, and obviously Spencer Lee. We know he's the best in the business. All right, here he is. Spencer.
Hey, what's
Hey,
up?
how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. I was saying, have you ever used this before? It's like my first week ever using it.
I've gone live like maybe twice.
How's everything been?
Good, pretty good. How about you?
Good, good. Trying to stay safe. I'm here in like the Corona capital of the U.S. I'm in New York City.
Yeah, oh my gosh. It's not bad
Yeah,
out in Iowa. It's not bad.
yeah, yeah. Are most of the guys still on campus?
I mean, somewhat. We all live like in the same area, so there's a lot of guys still here. Some people may have went home, but not many. So,
Yeah, crazy. Everything going on. Nothing. What's it been like over there in Iowa? What have you guys been up to?
well, we're not really allowed to like, Carver's closed, so like we can't like work out there. So everything's kind of on our own, which is kind of rough. But
Yeah,
we're doing what we can and running and whatever you can do, right?
yeah. That's what I was thinking. How do you stay on track? I mean, especially after everything with the NCAA's being shut down, and now the Olympics. It's like, what do you do to stay on track, both physically and mentally?
I
What's
mean,
kind of
you just gotta focus on what's next. Like as soon as NCAA's was canceled, I was getting ready for the Olympic trials, and then as soon as the Olympic trials were canceled, it's kind of like, all right, let's get focused on staying healthy and you
yeah,
know working out and be ready for what's next, right?
yeah. I mean, that's all you could really do. I mean, I think. Do you think of like what are some other areas of my game that I could work that maybe not be neglected, but maybe it's like, okay, well, now's a good time to work on this area that maybe hasn't been as developed.
Well, I mean, I think a big part of this is like doing like reps in your head, kind of what we talk about. Since we can't really be on the mat, so you can do like Terry always says, you can do 7 times more reps on in your head than you could on the mat.
Right.
And so, we're just working on things that you're, you want to work on, but like you can't on the mat. So it's just, well, it's all you really can do. Watch a lot of film. I watch a lot of film. I've been watching a lot of Arsen Fedzayev. He shoots a lot of like dump kind of things, and
Yeah.
he has some funky stuff from back when he wrestled. So pretty cool.
He's a scoring machine.
He was, yeah.
So you can start. What's that shot that he has? That one shot that he hits on like it's a dump, right?
Yeah, it's a dump. He like picks it up and then he kind of goes sideways with it, and flips you. It's kind of odd. He even and sometimes he'll pick you straight up and then go backwards. He's kind of a freak, honestly.
He's still coaching, right? Or no? He's a
What's
political.
that?
Is he still coaching, or he's now a political figure over there?
I'm pretty sure he's a political figure. They all end up like that.
They get hooked up with nice government jobs after.
Yeah, they do. They get a pension and a nice government job.
Yeah, that's good. Have the coaches been staying connected with the guys? Do you guys do any kind of like team meetings together or anything?
And we'll have like Zoom chats with the team
Yeah,
just to give updates on like what they've talked about with like their administration or things like that. But
yeah,
I mean, the guys we all live right next. So if we want to hang out, we could. But we're all
yeah.
being smart and try not to, get sick or anything.
Did they give you ideas of how to train? That was my son in the background, by the way. He says hello.
Awesome. What's up?
He was born. He's one. He was born last year, March 8th. That was during the Big Ten. And
Oh
actually,
wow.
I had him on my lap. He was 2 days old. He was watching you run a bar on a guy. So that,
Maybe you'll learn, huh?
that was his first match he was watching.
That's
So,
awesome.
yep, I was in the hospital with him, Mount Sinai, Midtown Manhattan, right down the road. But yes. So do the coaches give you guys like set workouts to do now, or is it just kind of like you guys know what you're supposed to be doing?
Well, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, if you call them, they'll help you out. But it's kind of a tough time now because we don't really know when we're going to compete next.
Yeah,
There's not really nothing on the map. So like, it's April, and the next time we might compete might be November.
right.
So it's a little hard to like be like, all right, you need to do this and this and this. It's just like, hey, what do you? They're kind of like, well, if you think you need this, then do it. But stay healthy, stay safe. Don't be stupid, and get what you need. Kind of what we're going on right now.
Yeah, yeah. So that'd be good. Those are good thoughts. So I guess middle. What would you say? Like maybe a middle school kid. What should a middle school kid be thinking now? What should a high school kid be thinking now?
Well,
If you
it
were in the
should be the same thing.
what's that?
Should be the same thing. You know, what's best? What's next? Well, what can you do? Let's say you look back on matches. Maybe there are things you need to improve on that you can rewatch and that you can you know do mental reps in your head, or watch other people that you think that could help you improve on your game. And I mean, if you need strength training, if that's a thing that you need, if it's cardio, if it's muscle endurance, there are things that you can do right now, to an extent, right? I mean, not everything's open, but you can always find ways to improve.
Yeah.
So.
And when you're watching your own matches and you're analyzing the film, you're going to be seeing, okay, this is what I'm doing well. This is what I need to work on. I guess how do you kind of balance that? We were talking with Ben Askren about this today, making sure that you're always staying optimistic. Like I can succeed, like I am doing well, but at the same time, there's a lot I have to work on. How do you balance that maybe with watching film? That was something that I think throughout my career was always, here's another mistake, here's another mistake. But also you got to remind yourself, this is good, this is working. What do you do to keep that balance while you're?
Well, I may not be the best person to ask that because I don't really watch myself wrestle.
I hate watching.
I just don't do it. I don't watch film on myself. Everyone else has after a match, they got times with the coaches and they watch film. Me, I walk in. Terry has a clip for 15 seconds that he liked, and then we move on. And then I'm out. That's me. Whether I pin the guy or it was a decision win or a tech or whatever, and he finds 15 to 20 seconds, and he's like, "You got it right in your head, boom, done." That's it. That's how I am. I think about everything so much that if he continues, adding more and more and more and more when he thinks it's maybe unnecessary, then I might go a little cuckoo, thinking about it. So he finds what he thinks is the most important, and then he'll kind of just shoot at me at practice. This, and then it's in my head, and I'm moving and I'm getting ready for improvement.
Yeah, that's a really good coach being able to see that, to be able to tell oh, this kid's prone to thinking about it too much, so let's just give him what he needs and then pull out. Whereas maybe another wrestler may get insulted with that, right? They might want that.
Yeah, well, DeSanto, he wants to watch his whole match. He wants to know everything. I'm very different, so people just think differently. We're both very similar guys, but when it comes to film, we're different. So.
Yeah. Who's usually who you usually working out with? I mean, is he your normal drill buddy or other people?
I mean, I worked out my was Paul Glenn probably, who I work out with the most in the year. Teasdale sometimes a lot too. DeSanto is more like a once a week guy. He's always got his partners lined up. I'm kind of a come into practice hey Terry, who should I go with kind of guy. But it's kind of my own problem. But you should always get your partners ahead of time. But yeah, so.
No, it's there's got to be a little
different.
Bit there because yes, I'm all about planning, right? You do want to plan your success and everything, but on the other hand, if that's going to be something that drives you crazy, or you're going to be then overthinking a lot. Okay, I got to plan this. Sometimes that may suck the joy out of it. So you have to almost feel how do you balance those kind of two things? I
totally agree.
Lined up for me, I think that for me that wouldn't be as fun. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I just didn't I don't like the fact thinking okay, well, I got Clark on one day, I got Goodwin on Tuesday, I got Sito on Wednesday. I'm kind of the guy who's I'm a guy that I need to get ready for practice. I'm very high octane, and I just got to be able to get in shape really. So I just gotta. That's pretty much my big thing is stay in shape and muscle endurance and mindset is big for me. Staying positive is a big thing. That's my biggest thing. I would tell everyone to stay positive. Yeah, so it's how I am.
Yeah, obviously we left it at Big Ten when they said what makes the difference, and you said mindset. I'm like,
yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it's just positivity. If I was just maybe this is an extreme example. Let's say I was mad at tech fall him, whoever 16-2 or something. I think I don't even know, but I what if I'm thinking about that the whole time? My mind, as soon as that match is over, was all right, Nationals. Everyone's how happy are you to win Big Tens? First time ever winning Big Tens. How do you feel? I'm I'm ready for Nationals. That's how I was. And I don't think I'll ever change.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's just the next task at hand, right? What's the next thing?
yeah,
Next thing. And if you're living like that, as long as you're being prepared for everything, that's a great place to be, as opposed to kind of like settling in on the past. I feel like that
yeah,
was because now obviously wrestling career being done, me and my brother, right? So now it's
yeah,
like we're taking everything that we had there and now we're applying that to business. And it's like, okay, maybe you had a good day, maybe you didn't have a good day. What's the next thing, right? So with positivity, that's a big thing. And a lot of people throw that word around like, yeah, you got to be positive. And it's like people think it's all, everyone holds hands in the circle and sings kumbaya. But being positive is a tough thing. Like you said, what are some of the things you tell yourself or do to remain positive, even if you didn't have a good day? Where do you like talking to yourself, visualization? What is it? Listen,
well,
you know.
I think just having a good like support group, people telling you over and over again like it's good, you're fine, like that helped me a lot. Like I'll be very like maybe I wouldn't say negative, but like not as positive as you should be. And then Terry's like, think about what you did good today. Like what'd you do good today? Instead of focusing on the one bad thing that happened. And you gotta like bring yourself back. You gotta they always have things, Tom and Terry always had things where it was like their comeback point, like whether it was like a point that you look at on your body and you're right in your back, so you just gotta train yourself to knowing that like once you look there, like your mind, how it is, it's like if you had like a comeback, let's say your comeback point was like looking at your thumb,
Yeah.
for an example, and like you're kind of freaking out, then you look, and then if you do it over and over again every time that you're like freaking out, eventually when you look at your thumb, you're gonna
Right.
calm down. There are things that you can do like that, and
Yeah.
we have like a mental toughness routine that all the guys have. We call it 10-minute toughness, and it's really really a big deal for us. And we push that a lot, and everyone on the team has it. We have a pamphlet. I don't even know where mine is. But.
No, it's great stuff. And like you said, that's one of the things that we talk about. We call it a reset button, right? Everyone has something, whatever we're calling it. Oh, there it is. Yep, that's toughness. There it is. So you had there, you were prepared.
Yeah, toughness routine. Process goals, product goals,
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah, a lot of guys. Yeah, we talk about that having the process versus outcome goals. Obviously, both are important, but most of the time, you're focusing on what's in your control. You don't have direct control of that championship. Right? You have control over what's right in front of you. And like you said about having, like for our guys, we tell them you got to make sure you have a reset button. So what are you telling yourself? Ref makes a bad call. What's your reset? Right? What do you tell yourself? Your opponent takes a cheap shot, does something dirty, same kind of thing. Right? You're winning by a point with 30 seconds left. What were you gonna say?
It just makes me laugh because like I don't really get frustrated by any of that.
Yeah.
In the middle of my match, like the guy could probably punch me in the face, and I think I would just run to the middle. Like I wouldn't be like, I've never like shoved someone. I've never like, I'm just like all I'm focused on is like the match. Once that whistle blows, like if the ref makes a bad call, like I kind of just look at Tom and Terry and they go, "You're good," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm good." And I just don't even think about it. So I've always been kind of, I might have had a problem with that like in high school, so I don't really know what changed. I feel like maybe that was arrogance. I don't know. I don't want to like put myself down, but I think it was more like respecting everyone and then like knowing that you can like control what you can control, and if I can't control what the ref does, then I can control what's going to happen next by scoring points and continuing to score points. So that's just kind of how I've always been.
Yeah. No, a lot of times, unfortunately, it's one of those long processes of trial and error. Like it happens, we make the mistake over and over, and finally throw our hands up and say, "Well, the heck with it. This is all control. This is what I'm going to do."
Yeah,
right.
I mean, you can't freak out about it. Once you start freaking out, then you're not focused, and things. When you're not focused, things go bad, right? So.
But it messed up so many guys. A lot of guys we talk to, even at the college, even Olympic level, where they're coming to us saying like that's what's throwing them off. And it's years of practice that go down the drain once, they weren't expecting to get taken down first and they weren't planning for it. Or, whatever might happen, they just didn't have that plan for it. Or like they have a lead with short time left and they totally change up their strategy and then a guy gets taken down. So,
yeah, that's interesting, I mean, I don't know if I've ever been taken down in the first period my entire college career. I don't know if that's ever happened. So awesome. I don't think that I would have cared because what all Terry would have said was get out and take him down back. That's all you got to think about, Can't worry about it. But yeah, I don't think I have. I've been taken down before I got takedown. My freshman year, I did that. Tom
Yep.
Selleck. But
But
yeah,
that ability to stay in the present moment, that I hope that the people watching, like when you think about that, that is such a strength that if you know, a lot of people, they might have that more naturally than others, or maybe they
yeah.
went through the process of trial and error, or like maybe they're going through our program, we're teaching them how to do it. Whatever it is, that's a massive strength. Just like having, you know, really good takedown, or really good, you know, really strong in one of your muscles, like having that mental muscle there is like that's big. That's
Mhm.
that would be one of the key things that would make you special. And I think like a lot of the top guys, a lot of times we overlook that. We just look in terms of like their talent or a certain shot that they have. And we don't always look because we can't see our mindset, but you can see it because you can see a guy is staying consistent the whole time, which is big.
I
You know,
agree.
a lot of people don't realize the reason why we have the black and gold. That's not by mistake, because we grew up watching. Our coaches had us watching Competitor Supreme, you know, the Gable,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
the season. I think that was the 2001 2002 season.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we
Cool.
we made our colors originally the Iowa colors, and I don't think we really ever told anyone that. But the time it was really
Awesome.
clear, at the time where it became really clear, Iowa came to Rutgers, and
Yeah.
you know, and you know, we're working with Kemmer and everything like that, and great guy, and
Okay.
we're here with our mindset shirts. We're here with our mindset shirts on, and I went to Rutgers for 3 years before I transferred to UPenn. My
Yeah.
brother grew up at Rutgers all 5 years. So we're around all Rutgers, and my family comes in with the black and yellow. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna find out right now. This is why we picked these colors, because we were always like, we wanted to have that Hawkeye mentality. Even I just made a book. I wasn't planning on pulling this out, but even our spiritual strength book, Building Athletes for Christ, black and yellow. I wanted to keep that whole theme of black and yellow, because I think that's
Awesome.
and I mean, for me, with building our program, I would look at the stuff that Gable was saying and Brands, just watching those different clips from them, and I tried to put together a program that was built on the Hawkeye mentality. And I remember Brands chewing out Mako after winning his first Midlands title in the season, if you remember that. And he's like, clock watcher, can't be a clock watcher. You're watching the clock the whole third period. Chewed him out right after winning the Midlands as a freshman. And I said, you know, that's a special thing right there. That's what separates this coach from other coaches who, even though his athlete as a freshman won it, he was focused on the process. He was focusing on the things he could control. That's big to me.
I mean, the process is the whole thing with those guys. It's not like one match has defined you. It's a whole season of learning and getting ready for, like, you know, what's the next best thing, which is always the next thing, right? So
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's always everything we say about like the whole predator mindset, like focusing on what you could control. That's what you could control. So that's what you do. And if the best you could take is third, you get third. If the best you could take is seventh, you take seventh, right?
Yep.
So no,
Exactly.
that's awesome stuff. What are some other things? What do you guys do in terms of any other like tips or anything you do over there with just peak performance, that getting to relax under pressure, focus on the right things before you go out there? Is there anything?
I mean, just, you know, we have routines that, like, from our manual, that people do before matches. I'm not like a 10-minute get ready for a match guy. I have to be relaxed. I'm not a guy who gets fired up or hype or anything for any match.
Yeah.
It's just not who I am, and how I'll never be that way. Some guys might get super fired up, like Cole Ott, for example. He said he didn't need anyone to fire him up because he was already fired up enough and needed a calm coach in the corner. I'm so calm, I need a crazy coach in the corner, because I want to be able to hear him. I want to be able to, you know, like if the whole arena is loud and Terry speaks, I hear Terry. It's just I only hear, you know, he's the only voice I hear, you know, and sometimes Jacob Warner, but just joking. But yeah, I just like having a little routine before the match. Like me, I always tell myself, hard, smart, take down a turn. You know, like it's just how I wrestle. You know, everything to me is to score points. I don't take down to turn you, and then maybe I cut you, and I take it down again to turn you. You know, you get 2 takedowns of turns. It's 12-1. You know, match is almost over. So
Right.
yeah, that's how I am, how I think, and you know, everyone has different things. Every guy has a different routine. It's just you got to find that routine, and once you find it, you got to perfect it, and it's never perfected ever. You know, you'll never perfect it. It's just always improving based on how you feel, like, you know, what tournament you're at. Everything's just different. Like the environment that you're at. It's just, if you're overseas, it might be different because you don't have the same things that you're used to that you might have in America, so you don't have the same food, the same, but you got to find things that are similar. Like whenever I went overseas, my dad was the guy that always got the stuff. Like I liked pasta the night before. So my dad made sure I had pasta the night before, just little things like that like made you comfortable, or like maybe you wear the same shoes every match or something, like things that like little things that you might not think make a difference, but like they kind of calm you. Maybe, but at the end of the day, as Terry Brand says, that none of that matters. All that matters is the work you put in and going out there and wrestle. So, like, things may matter to you maybe a little bit mentally, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter as long as you're ready to go and your mind's sharp and you're focused. So
that's right. Yeah, because it's like, okay, yeah, maybe that day, maybe you had a good warm-up, maybe you didn't, maybe you ate the food you liked, maybe you didn't. But at the end of the day, are you going to shoot or not out there? Are you going to go for the top? It's like it doesn't really make a difference. You put all the preparation in the bank.
Exactly.
Now, I got one that was just popping in my head while you were speaking. Good question. Energy management in between rounds of tournaments. Like you said, there's different parameters. If there's a tournament, that's a certain parameter. Now, 3 days at the NCAAs, that's a unique thing. Now, if you're doing a 2-day tournament, it's like how do you manage it in between rounds? Let's start with that one yeah, go ahead.
It's a little different though. Because NCAA tournament is the easiest tournament you'll ever wrestle in if you don't lose.
Yeah.
Because you wrestle in the morning, then you wrestle 13 hours later at night, and then you wrestle the next day in the morning, then you wrestle late at night, and then you wrestle late at night. So, like, if you don't lose, it's an easy tournament. But if you lose, you're, like, all day, man. Like I had teammates come back at, like, 11:30, and then they had to cut weight. They're running on the treadmill, know? And they're done at 12:30 at night, and I've been in bed since 10, so just like, but I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not saying like you have to win. I'm just saying that like, you got to know what you're getting into. Like as soon as that match was over and they lost, they weren't down. They weren't upset. Immediately it was like, I got to make weight. I got to get rest, and I got to get ready to get up in the morning so I can make weight and get ready for the next thing, and I think that's like a really, really big deal. For it shows a lot of like I wouldn't want any of my teammates to lose, but it shows how like how they're taught in mind and heart, and I always feel bad like I want to help them, but I can't. I gotta get ready for myself, and it's so it's hard, but that's a big deal to me. Just like that, being able to like turn that switch on to change and be able to move on to what's next.
Yeah. I guess the other thing, though, the mental parameters there, though, where you haven't wrestled the whole day. I mean, what do you think? So if there's a match in the morning, match at night, what are you doing in between? What are you not doing in between? I've heard Jordan Burroughs say before, the more wrestling he watches during the day at a tournament, the more nervous he gets. I guess that's different for each athlete, obviously.
No, I could see that.
Do you want to get away from things? Do you want to get some?
Well, our coaches believe as soon as you're done, get out. Because we're very like our team is very close. So we are into every single match our team's in. So, like, if a guy's wrestling, that match is close, like, we're, like, into it, And then you're not worried about yourself. Like, team titles come from individuals being selfish and doing their job, even though we all want to support our team and watch them. Like, I'm back at the hotel maybe watching a little bit, or maybe I don't want to watch it because I might be, I want to take a nap. So maybe I'll just watch on Twitter, like, updates that we have, and then, I'll take a nap or something. I just don't. I'm a guy who could watch matches because I get fired up, but like I've never felt like it bothered me. But it's probably because I'm the first match, But like if you're a guy like maybe Warner and he's like super into our matches at dual meets, like he's just like he's the biggest supporter of us as a teammate. And the next thing you know, like he's up in 2 matches, but he's been yelling the whole time. He hasn't gotten his routine may have got changed. So sometimes you gotta learn when to like boom, you gotta relax. And like he changed in the middle of the year instead of cheering us on till the break and then Marinelli, boom, boom, boom. He was already up there, just relaxing, watching on TV, but it's different when you're not in Carver, Carver is electric and it's loud and the fans are super loud, and you get into it, Like at Penn State, we're all, like you saw me, I was going crazy too. But I couldn't imagine, if that was me and I hadn't wrestled yet, I would have been up in the room, It would have been, because I got to focus on myself. No matter who I was wrestling, didn't matter if the guy was the worse than the Big Ten, or if he was number 1 in the Big Ten, it didn't matter. I would have been up there, and I would have been relaxed and getting ready for my match.
Yeah.
Because that's just how you got to be for every single match. So,
that
changes.
That's really big, and that's yet another Hawkeye philosophy that I've learned from watching the Brands interviews and everything that we built in originally when we put this whole thing together, that everyone has to themselves, because we have a
Yeah,
lot of wrestlers that they're looking up at the team score, they're watching their teammate. I mean, when I was in high school, my brother was a 103 pounder, I was a 140 pounder.
yeah,
For him, I'm wrestling a match before I'm actually stepping out there to compete. Well, what good is that?
absolutely.
So all the energy is draining out of you, and you know how if there's like an upset right before you, you feel that in your stomach, you know.
Mm.
So I felt like a lot of times guys don't need that. And then also, how about what's the mentality knowing, okay, I just have one more match tomorrow and it's at night. So like NCAA's, you just win in the semis, and now it's like, okay, you have a full day to think about it. Whereas I would think
Facts.
it's a lot easier when you're going boom, 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 and then you have a finals match.
For
Now
sure.
you stay, you're in your head.
Well, like the biggest thing would be probably just like relax and fuel. You know, make sure you're ready. Keep fueling, keep sipping water. Hydration is key on a long day like that. You know, you still got to make weight in the morning. Like I don't really cut that much weight, so like I'm never worried about that. So, you know, just doing kind of the normal things and just fueling and eating and drinking, and then taking a nap, and just, you know, I always shower after that just to wake myself up, and then I go over early, and I always, you know, I gotta get my knee taped and all that stuff, and get ready for you know, I just gotta relax, you know, because me, I need like 10, 12 minutes hard blowout warm up, and I'm ready to go. Like I'm good, and then I'm doing the rest of my whole life, so I'm used. You know, I know what to do.
Will you get a match in, or no? You just blow out the lungs.
No, I just blow it out because you got to blow it out of you because you haven't, you know, had a match yet. But I'm not a guy who needs a match in the morning and then blow it out again. I tried that my freshman sophomore year, but it just wasn't me. You know, the coaches realized that when like I'm a guy who doesn't really cut weight, so they would make me eat and drink before weigh-ins to warm up, and then weigh in, and then like you're at the arena. You know, do you go back? You know, just we had a routine, you know. So like me, I wake up on weight now, then I eat and drink for like a day like that. And then if some guys, they might need to get warm up in, like Kemmer, he probably gets a warm up in beforehand, you know, just different than me. Me, I blow it out. I'll be breaking sweat, and I'm so hydrated because I'm not, like I said, I'm not really cutting weight. So like, I'm not like cutting water or anything. Then I'll be sweating all the way until I get to the mat pretty much, you know, and then I sit down and I just relax. Have you ever seen me before a match? I'm sitting down.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not bouncing around or anything. I'm sitting down in a chair like this, and Terry's probably just like doing whatever, pushing me, you know, rubbing my back or like my hair or something, you know. So just a little different, but I'm different. I'm not like the other guys on my team. I'm the only one who does stuff like that. So
Yeah. Well, there's no cookie cutter answer of how to deal with each and every kid. Like, of course, we have a program, so naturally what we try to do is you got to standardize it. Otherwise, you don't
yeah,
have. Right? But then on top of that, once you actually work with the kid, you're saying, okay, so what works for you? Like you probably have some guys in your team where they will do a full match, and
yeah,
they might need that full match.
yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And then are a lot of guys listening to music? Because a lot of times I've seen guys that listen to too hard of music that gets them too fired up. Better off listening to a song that makes them smile or laugh. Like I like the Pokemon thing because in my mind, that's perfect because now you're going out there with a good feel. It's an upbeat song, but you're still reminding yourself this isn't life or death.
Yeah, I probably would have went out to like Fur Elise this year.
Really?
Some piano. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't need music. I don't get fired up. Music doesn't fire me up for a match because I'm too relaxed, too nervous even, you know. You know, I use that nervous energy positively. So like, it's just I'm a little different. Like I wouldn't want like a hard fire, you know, just not who I am. Like I don't think in my entire life, I don't think I've ever listened to music before a match.
Yeah.
Ever.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. You know, it's finding out what works for you, and that's what I mean, how did you come to that process of finding like, hey, this works for me, this doesn't work for me? I know like years of experience is the easiest.
Yeah, but you know, trial and error. I just knew that like I listen to music a lot. Like my teammates will joke that I will always have headphones on, but it's probably because like I'm kind of a loner. So like I'm walking around campus. I probably just don't want people saying hi to me or anything. I just want to get to my class and get done with that and then get ready for practice, you know. But so like before, like I walk into arenas with music on and stuff, but like my music's just very happy, like, you know, happy go whatever, you know, not fired up kind of music. It's just not what I listen to. And I just realized that I didn't need it before matches. All I needed was, slap my coach's hand and for him to tell me, no one works harder than you in the world or something, or, whatever they want to say. And then boom, kick it to butt. So.
Yeah. And how do you, and I guess just another thought, just I've always thought, how do you like mentally just knowing, going up against someone who's really good, because of course you're going up against really good opponents, even though you're putting up big numbers against them, saying to yourself, like, I could still beat this guy very bad. Like, he's good. If I had a bad day, I could lose, but I could still beat this guy really bad. Like, mentally being able to tell ourselves that against a solid opponent.
Even if I had a really bad day, I don't believe
sense?
anyone could beat me. Even if I was having a bad day, I don't believe anyone could beat me. That's just how, on my worst day, that's what Tom Brands always says. He goes, that guy, he could beat me on my worst day, because that's how you got to believe. Even if you're wrestling your worst, it's still got to be, like, your worst has got to be at a certain point, That's how they kind of talk. Because it shouldn't matter, If you're hurt, sick, whatever. That's why you'll never hear me make an excuse if I'm hurt or sick, because it doesn't matter. Because, the only way I would ever say an injury matters is if you physically cannot wrestle. Like, if it could be life or death, or you could be paralyzed or something, then maybe, that's for sure. But if it's just blowing a shoulder out or something, if you can wrestle with it, then finish the match, But if it's something that's not the best thing for you, you should have a relationship with your trainer. Like me and my trainer, Jesse Donnerworth, he's the man. He's the reason I'm able to compete these seasons, And he has a relationship with all of us, we would know if we cannot compete just by the way he would speak to us,
Yeah.
So it's a little different, but I am blessed to have him as a trainer. He's the best trainer in the whole country, I believe. And, that's just, I'm just lucky. So
that's awesome. I guess, what does he have you guys doing? Like prehab stuff in between, rehab?
He's like a coach. He's just like a coach. He knows wrestling. He knows what's best for you, and he has an individual thing for everyone. It's not like, oh, your knee's hurt. Here's the bands, and here's this. It's like he looks at you. How do you feel? What are you feeling like? What do you think you can do today? And then you tell him, and then he tells you what he thinks you should do today. But he wants to know what you think, Or he's like, today you can drill today, no lie, and I want you to go with this guy as a partner. Like that's how much he knows, That's how like lucky we are. I'm not saying every program doesn't have that or may have that. I don't know, but I just know that we're lucky because like I go up to him and he's got a plan, and or if he doesn't, we're gonna make a plan together and we're gonna figure it out. And it's just he's a big mindset guy too. So
yeah, no, that's phenomenal. How'd you feel in high school? Did you feel like you had like that good support staff? Like I know at Iowa you got all these great people around you.
And I had great coaching staff in high school, like some of the best ever. But it's just you don't have the support network that you have at Iowa. It's just different. The guys on the team, I was a little, I couldn't like compare myself to any of them because, they had different priorities, most of them, than I did. And, it's high school still, not like it's not your job. Yeah. High school teachers, if you had to miss a class, they were kind of mad at you, Teachers here, they're like, awesome, we'll get you the work. Let's get it done. Let's figure it out, which is kind of nice. But
fortunately, most of the wrestlers aren't dealing with that kind of situation. But only you and maybe one other guy, maybe it's just yourself that's the only serious wrestler there. You don't have you don't have the coaches, yet you still have the aspirations to get it done at a high level. It's tough.
It is. High school is tough, man. I don't miss my high school days at all. Not at all. Stupid, but just different level, different. It's nice being around people with high level mentalities as well. That's such a big difference.
I was going to say, like when you're walking in a room, you have a lot of guys people who've won world championships and people who are aspiring to win world championships. It becomes par for the course. They're like the bar is just raised.
The bar is nuts here. The bar is Tom Brands.
Yeah. It's about as
and
high.
Even higher than that. What?
That's as high of a bar as you could set there.
I don't know. The only thing he could have done was maybe go one more Olympic gold medal and win nationals as a freshman. That's about and maybe win worlds every year he did. But other than that, I don't know how much else he could do.
He teched the guy in the Olympic finals, right?
I don't know if he teched him. I think it was like 9-0, 8-0. But he kicked his butt.
It was a beatdown.
Oh yeah, I don't think I don't know if he got scored on in the finals.
No, he didn't.
Maybe 1 point in the whole tournament. I don't know. No one. He's 1996 Tom Brands, not Tom Brands. I don't think anyone wants to wrestle. That's Harry Tom Brands.
Definitely not. No, that's crazy. No, that's great. That's great stuff, and it's nice to hear, like your viewpoint on everything. It's just very refreshing because a lot of guys don't fit that kind of mold. Like they get themselves up, and I think a lot of guys need to hear that this is such an individual sport that you need to know what works for you. It's not just copy the monkey where you see this one guy, they're very successful, they get real fired up, so you got to do that. Nor does it necessarily mean your way is what's going to work for them, but just I think them thinking about it, that there are multiple ways to approach this, and you might think you're helping yourself, but you might be hurting yourself. Like me, I'm always a high energy guy. I'm high energy at 35. And at 15, I was nuts, right? I didn't need to be listening to Tupac or Eminem before I competed. Well, that would have been helpful to know that.
Yeah, now, right?
But no one told me that in high school.
Yeah.
I thought you needed to be listening to Eye of the Tiger and Rocky in order to be successful. So that's what I'm listening to before my matches, and I'd get stressed out. And in college, I had to change it up and do something to remind myself to have fun. So we tell our guys, pick one small thing you do to keep it fun, light, joke around with the friends, some kind of element of fun to make you relax.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I am for matches, just kind of joking around until Terry says you're on deck, then like changes a little bit, but you got to keep it fun. At the end of the day, it's a sport. It's not like life or death. We're fortunate for that, but you know, it's not like gladiators or anything, even though we say it's like a gladiator sport, but
yeah, real fortunate. And I think that's one of those things. That's also another one of those Iowa philosophies that for me, I always really liked it. It really seemed like anytime I heard Gable or Brands or any of those guys talk, it was always, this is life. Like it's building virtue for life. And that's, I always hoped that with wrestling mindset, what we were teaching was, this is using sports as a vehicle to build virtue. It's using wrestling as a way to build mental skills for your whole life. I remember seeing something on Tom Brands talking about how using these the atom dummies, and before I don't know if you ever saw that video, but he talks about, like, you know, not letting a day go by without improving and always getting the next best thing, and how he said that this is going to help in your family life, your social life, business, career. Like it's not just Iowa smash mouth robot wrestling and that's it. I never got that sense from Iowa ever. It was always a big picture, and that's what you apply to your entire life. So that's my thought.
Yeah, well, you know, the quote, once you wrestle, everything in life is easy. Yeah. Tom always says that once you wrestle, everything in life is easier. Because you know how to deal with everything, you know? So he's not like putting down the quote, but he's just, in his mind, that's how he thinks. That's how he thinks. And, you know, he's a high-level mindset man, and he's not afraid to tell you what's the right thing to do or what he thinks is the right thing to do, you know?
No, that's important. Like I said, the Hawkeye mentality, I watched that video that you're referring to. Also, there was one that he spoke about that on Flow. I watch that stuff all the time. So in my mind, that was Iowa Hawkeye wrestling is always like the foundation of everything that we tried to do with wrestling mindset. So that's I love all the things you guys are about, and the way you compete, the way you carry yourself. Like I said, it goes beyond wrestling. It's not just a showboat. Look at me. Look how great I am. It's high quality person also, which to me is just huge. So that's great stuff, Spencer. Yeah. How's everything going? Family doing well now?
Yeah. So far, so good. You know, we're surviving these crazy times.
It's nuts. Like, who would have predicted? It's just, you never know. And this is where, like, wrestling would teach you, okay, adversity.
Yeah.
Find a way, like, stay positive, be resilient, and what's the opportunity here? And that's how I had to look at it for business, too. It's like, okay, I can't get out to coaches' conventions. I can't be speaking places live. So, okay, what's the next best thing? Hey, maybe Spencer Lee wants to talk. You know?
Yeah.
Pretty good consolation prize.
Appreciate it.
Good stuff, brother. Yep, anytime, and happy to help. And just stay safe. Keep doing what you're doing. All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan, right?
Yeah,
gotta stay not crazy, right?
That's
stable in these times.
That's it. You're preaching to the choir here. That makes sense, right? So, yeah. Tell everyone at Iowa we said hello. God bless you guys. All right.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll see you.
Yep. See ya.